for a polished appearance and a more aggressive presence from your 2009 to 2021 5.7-liter Tundra, this Borla Touring dual-side exit exhaust system with the polished tips will be a great option to check out. Now when it comes to the loudness meter, getting right into sound, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5, with 1 being completely stock and 5 being Wake the Neighbors loud. This will offer a small volume increase, but it's really going to deepen the tone of your 5.7-liter if you want that tougher presence out of the truck while keeping an OE comparable, comfortable cab environment, which is great if you're daily driving on the highway and want a system that's going to be aggressive and bearable at the same time. This system really shines when it comes to the sound, which again is going to be subtle, making for a good interior environment, but is going to keep those aggressive tones that you want for your 5.7-liter. Now with sound also comes better performance, and this system will do just that with some small horsepower and torque gains, creating better efficiency overall. Not to mention the look here will make the truck stand out with the bright, polished appearance thanks to the tips on the back. This will feature a 2 1/4-inch mandrel bend T304 stainless steel construction, which will offer smooth and direct airflow and optimal rust resistance, especially in harsher climates where you see a lot of rain and salt. Now the Touring muffler here is going to be the quietest of Borla's muffler trio, delivering smooth yet aggressive notes out of the exhaust while eliminating any drone. Now the hangers will also have a factory style build, so you can ensure that they're going to have an OE fit, and this is going to include all of the clamps and hardware needed for a straightforward install. Now this system will be a premium option, coming in at roughly $1,600. Now that's to be expected with the craftsmanship here in the materials that will keep the look for years to come, the impressive sound quality and comfortability, as well as that classic polished appearance that you won't be able to miss. Now overall, I think if you've got the extra bucks to spend on a high quality system that's going to be subtle yet satisfying when you hit the pedal, then this is going to be a good one to take a look at. Now install will be a lighter 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about 2 hours to get the job done. Now at this point, we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown of how to get this onto your Tundra at home. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
For this install, you will need an impact, 14mm swivel socket, 15mm socket, and for ours specifically a 17mm socket and 15mm wrench, a 19mm socket with adapter if necessary, and exhaust hanger pliers, also not pictured here, a pole jack or jack and jack stands. What's up guys, today we're going to be installing a new exhaust on our Tundra, but before we get started we're going to send you to watch a short video on how to uninstall your factory setup, and we'll see you when you get back.
Alright, so before we can get started installing our new exhaust, we're going to go ahead and get our factory one off. We're going to show you how to do that while keeping our factory pipe intact. Obviously, if you plan on never reusing your original equipment, muffler and exhaust pipe, you can just cut it and make it a lot easier to remove off of your truck, to be quite honest with you. But this is a fleet vehicle, so this installation is not going to be permanent. So we're going to show you how to get it all out in one piece. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing I would recommend doing before you get going here, let your exhaust cool down if you've been driving your truck, and also get in there with some lubricating oil and spray up the little rubber hangers. That'll make popping those metal hangers out of the rubber a lot easier. All right, now to get started, like I already said guys, I'm going to make sure everything's cooled down. This first 2 bolts that we're going to take out are right by a catalytic converter, which gets really hot, and we've been letting our truck sit for like an hour and it's still pretty warm. I also recommend having eyewear and some gloves while you work with your exhaust. Exhaust pipes tend to have sharp edges to them, not to mention the surfaces being hot as well. So let's go ahead and get these out. Our factory bolts are 14mm. All right, same 14mm socket for these 2 bolts as well. Now we're going to have a total of 4 rubber hangers like this, guys, and to be quite honest with you, if you're trying to keep your pipe intact like we are, you can do these in any order that you want. We're kind of doing it the way it might be easiest for us to demonstrate for you. So we're at the one that's all the way obviously back here by our spare tire. And you might see a little bit of wetness here on the rubber. I sprayed some penetrating oil on there earlier just to let it sink in. That makes these coming off a lot easier. All right, guys, now this is the 4th out of 4 rubber hangers. So obviously once we pop this one loose, you gotta make sure your pipe is supported in some kind of way.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to remove your factory setup, we're gonna go ahead and begin installing our new system. So to do that, we're gonna grab our flange pipes here. We're gonna start with our longer one, and we're gonna go right into this hanger isolator first. Just pop that right into place, nice and easy. And we'll rotate it up into position. May even have to pull it back a little bit. And we'll go ahead and reinstall our factory 14mm bolt. Start with our bottom one here. And we're just going to loosely install this for now just to hold it in place to allow for any adjustments we need to make while we're installing the rest of our system. And for our top bolt in particular, we have had to modify ours due to thread issues on our nut. So we're going to use our 17mm bolt and 15mm nut on the backside. But again, your factory one should be a 14mm. And get ours into place. And just loose for now so we can do what we need to do as we go along. Next, we'll go ahead and install our shorter passenger side one here. And again, we're going to go through our hanger isolator. Push that right through. This is where it pays to lubricate your isolators, always helps. And then again, we'll reuse our factory 14mm hardware. And leave it loose for now as well. Then we can move on to our muffler section. So we're gonna get ready to install our muffler section, and before we do that, we're gonna grab 2 of our 2.5-inch clamps. Slide them over our mid pipes here, just so they're already in place, you don't forget about them. And then we can go ahead on with our muffler. Now we can go ahead and get our muffler / over axle section into place. You notice we got our pole jack on here. This is a rather large muffler. If you don't have one of these, an extra set of hands would be very useful. So we'll go ahead and get this lined up here. So we'll go ahead and get this lined up with our mid pipes. And this is why you want everything loose. So we can go ahead and slip these on. We need to adjust our height here a little bit. You notice we have our first one in. Always pays to get one in at a time. And once you have both of your mid pipes into your muffler assembly, go ahead and seat those into position. After this, you just gotta work it into it. And once we have that seated, we can come back to this hanger isolator here. And it's gonna be a little bit tough into position there. Go ahead and seat that hanger into your isolator. Now we can go ahead and get our passenger side tail section and tip into place. So again, we're gonna go ahead and grab a 2.5-inch clamp, slide that over the pipe here. Doesn't matter if it falls. We'll go ahead Get this slotted into position. Seat that back all the way. Get this hanger isolator into position as well. And you can just fold it up to where the end of the hanger goes into the isolator and pull that right over. And we'll slide our clamp up into position, leaving it loose for now. Next, we can install our cross section for our driver's side outlet. So we'll go ahead and again slide our clamp on. Get that seated onto our over axle pipe here. Leave that loose for now. So now we can add our driver's side hanger, and what we're going to do is remove this bolt on the frame here located directly behind our sway bar end link. That's a 19 millimeter, so we go ahead and use our 19 on our impact. Pop that right off. Now we can go ahead and get our hanger isolator in place and install it using the provided 22 millimeter bolt and flat washer. Now we can tighten that down using our 22 millimeter wrench. We're going to go ahead and install our new isolator onto our hanger here first. We'll slide it all the way back just to give us more room. And we'll go ahead and get our tail section seated onto our cross pipe there. And then we can work our isolator onto our hanger. So now that we have everything loosely in place, we're going to come back to our mid-pipe flanges here and start tightening everything down, making our adjustments as necessary along the way. So we'll go ahead to our modified top flange bolt here with our 17 millimeter swivel and 15 millimeter wrench. Tighten that one down. Then we'll swap out to our 14 millimeter factory hardware with our 14 millimeter swivel socket on our impact. Tighten down. We can move to our next flange here. And again, we'll tighten down our 14 millimeter hardware, making sure the pipe is seated. Now we can start tightening down our clamps using our 15 millimeter socket on our impact. Now we can go ahead and do our over axle clamps. Now we can do our driver's side tip clamp. And you want to make sure your tips are adjusted to how you want them sitting before you tighten these down. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Borla Touring dual exhaust system with polished tips and side exit for your 09 to 21 5.7 liter Tundra. Thank you for watching, and as always, for everything Tundra, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.